All right. We are live. Just starting off the broadcast here. This is episode 3. I'm MrSoundOff. Thank you guys so far for joining us on our first couple episodes that we've had. Hope you guys have been enjoying the episodes we've had so far. And going to dive a little bit more into some of these topics, talking about the NFL free agency, along with some baseball today, and then obviously some of the other things that we like to do, talking about some music, some having a song of the day, and then going over today in history as well. All right, so give you guys a little bit of time to hop into the chat here. And like I said, I'm still working out some of the kinks on some of these things as well. I know I'm not sure if any of you guys got this today. I know I was getting some feedback from people that they were not getting notified when I was going live, when I was doing these live streams. So not sure if that happened again here today. Being a brand new channel, I know some of the things I just got verified. Another kind of step along the process just went through for me. What was it, yesterday? And so we'll see if that's made any difference at all towards that. But hopefully, obviously, people are getting notified when I am doing these live broadcasts that I'm actually doing the broadcasts themselves. So we'll see here. And if you're not getting those notifications for this, if you found out some other way, or if you just came onto the channel today and saw that I'm doing the live stream itself, let me know. Hit me up in the chat. Send me a DM. Let me know if you're getting those notifications. Obviously, if you have not hit the like and subscribe buttons, please do so. And then hit the notification bell as well to get notifications when I actually do send out these kind of videos, either the live ones or some of the chopped up versions of the live shows that we do, right? So, yeah, like I said, let me know. Hit me up with that if you're seeing those kind of things. I'm not going to keep waiting around forever for everybody to join. And like I said, I know we're a brand new channel, and some of these videos end up getting seen later on when I kind of chop some of this stuff up. So, without further ado, thank you guys for showing up. This is MrSoundOff. This is our 3rd episode for the new channel, and we are going to be tackling some different topics today, as far as going through NFL free agency, which we have been talking about that for the last couple episodes. We're also going to throw in, I love that, I bring it up all the time, we're going to throw in some baseball today in there, go over our today in history, and then also give you guys a song of the day as well. All right, so hopefully you guys will enjoy the content for today. And again, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to the channel. Get the word out, let other people know as well, and hit the notification bell for the different streams that we do, as well as the different videos that we put out as well, separately from the live streams too. So, and again, if you are subscribed already to the channel, and if you do have notifications on and you're not receiving notifications when I'm sending out these live streams, hit me up either in the chat if you're here, or if you're going to join the live stream, or hit me up with a DM and let me know if you are receiving those notifications or if you're not. All right, so without further ado, here we are going to go into our first topic. Another thing I was going to say here with the first topic, I've been trying to think of. I haven't really come up with anything good, I feel like, but an actual name maybe for the first topic. If you guys watched New Heights at all with the Kelsey brothers, they got the new news, right? New news. Everyone that comes on there has a different way of saying it out, right? But it's awesome, right? It's perfect. It's got the two brothers playing off each other there with the different ways of saying it. And then when they have different guests come in, they'll say it a different way as well. But the whole thing there is that's basically kind of a springboard, a launching pad from them kind of just setting up the video, and then boom, they're into like their first topic. They're off and running, right? So right now it's just kind of like, here's our first topic. But if you guys have any suggestions as well for a title, for a name, for maybe what that first topic should be, please let me know. I'm thinking maybe I'll start coming up with some ideas and maybe throw out a poll on the channel as well. I'll throw it out on the YouTube poll, as well as on our social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those kind of things there too. So anyways, be looking on the lookout for that. But for now, all we got is our first topic. First topic, NFL free agency, right? You can call it maybe day 4. You can also call it day 2. Just depends upon if you're going off of the official NFL season, start of the NFL season, or when free agency, when teams were allowed to basically kind of talk to these players, and that's when you start seeing some of the actual content coming out saying players were going to sign with different teams. All right. I brought that up in our last video that not everything was actually official quite yet. They were waiting until the first day of the NFL season, which was yesterday, and that happened. And so obviously yesterday happened, but what you end up seeing is like the player on the Dallas Cowboys now, right, who was going to go to a different team and ended up signing. It was reported that he was going to a different team, and then all of a sudden went with the Dallas Cowboys. So I said, keep an eye on this, because not all this stuff, some of these things are reported by players. Some of these things are reported by agents or by insiders, but not so much by the teams. It wasn't official yet, right? So even though he was reported to go to, I think was he re-signing with the 49ers? Let's see here. If I can find, now I'm going blank on the player itself. Oh, that's right. It was Eric Kendricks that was going to go to the 49ers, coming from the Chargers, right? So coming from the Chargers, he was going to sign with the 49ers. There was a statement that came out saying that he was going with the 49ers, and instead ends up, once the actual start of the new NFL season started, then he actually signed with the Dallas Cowboys instead. Right, so that was one of those kind of examples there. Not too many of those ones yet, but you did see some of these players that have gotten released either before the, right before the start of the official start date of the NFL season, or since some of these moves have been made. I think some of the craziest ones, including what happened pretty recently here tonight on Thursday, the 14th. Is Keenan Allen now is traded to the Chicago Bears. Wow. That's a big move. That's a huge move for both the Chargers and for the Chicago Bears. I said that I felt the Chicago Bears were the biggest losers in the NFL free agency, after Tuesday went by, after those first 2 days happened. And, the Packers were making moves in their division. The Vikings were making moves in their division. In the conference, obviously the Falcons were getting a whole lot stronger. Obviously the Cowboys are still going to be there. The 49ers are still going to be there. I think the Cardinals are going to be a lot better. They're making moves. Everyone's making a lot of moves, and the Chicago Bears were seemingly kind of losing out on some players. Their trade value for Justin Fields went way down with all these different quarterbacks going to different teams. I still think the trade value for Justin Fields is far less than what it was just a week ago. Far less than what it was just a few days ago. But this was a huge move as far as them getting Keenan Allen. I mean, and they were able to get him for a 4th-round pick. I'm always curious. I'm always not really so much curious, I guess. I'm stunned most of the time with these players in the NFL, what they get traded for, what their trade value ends up going for. Now, I know there's a lot of different factors that go into that as far as you start looking into a player like Keenan Allen, and you can say, okay, he's had an injury past, he makes a lot of money, how much years does he have left on his contract, all these kind of things there. But he had an amazing season last year. He essentially had the best season of his career just last year for the Chicago Chargers, and Justin Herbert was injured for all that year, so he possibly could have had an even better year than that if Herbert was fully healthy all year long. But he comes off of a fantastic year for the San Diego Chargers last year, and the Chicago Bears get him for a 4th-round pick. I mean, what wide receiver are you going to get in the 4th round of this NFL draft that's going to be anywhere near what Keenan Allen did last year, and probably what he's going to do something similar to this year? I mean, I guess that's a little tough. Is he going to be the number one? They already have DJ Moore there. DJ Moore can maybe fall a little bit more into like a slot role, especially with Darnell Mooney leaving. And Keenan Allen being your primary outside target. I think both those guys are kind of really outside targets, though, for the most part. So they'll be splitting time a lot. But on the Chargers, they had Mike Williams as well. They had other targets that Herbert was having to throw the ball to as well. Even Austin Eckler for a running back would take a lot of those targets away, right? So, I don't think that either Justin Fields or Caleb Williams' rookie year is going to be throwing the ball quite like Justin Herbert was last year, even being injured. But the production, again, you're going to get from Keenan Allen for a 4th-round pick. No rookie 4th-rounder was going to come in and give you anywhere near that, all right, this season. And I'll have to see exactly where Keenan Allen was. I wasn't really seeing this move happen when I just was getting basically ready for the podcast here tonight. And this came by. That this move was made. So I'll have to look a little more into Keenan Allen's contract and those kind of things there. But, I mean, if the Bears re-sign him, and by the way, if they trade away Justin Fields or let his rookie contract expire after this year and then they just stick with Caleb Williams, they're going to have money in the bank to re-sign a Keenan Allen, right? So you're talking, again, like a 4th-round pick for maybe not even just this year, but maybe – the next few years, or they sign him long term also in the next 4 or 5 years. I don't think that Keenan Allen, with the injury history and the age, will get a 4 or 5 year contract, but I could see him getting like another 2 or 3 year contract after this year. So still, if you're the Bears, you trade away a 4th-round pick for this all-pro wide receiver for possibly 1 to 3 years or something like that. No 4th-round pick was going to give you that right off the bat like that. All right. Some 4th-round picks might end up developing into that. The Packers have a history of getting some guys that end up having phenomenal success, getting drafted later on. Packers are kind of known for not drafting a wide receiver ever in the 1st round. I don't think they have done it since, 2002, I believe it was. The Packers haven't drafted a wide receiver in the 1st round, and how many great ones have they had? Right. So that's a huge move for the Chicago Bears. And now all of a sudden you're teaming up, again, Keenan Allen with DJ Moore. Now, again, like I said, they did lose Darnell Mooney. Mooney signs with the Atlanta Falcons. So Falcons, where I was talking about the Falcons going with, their skill set players that they already have at running back, tight end, and wide receiver. And now all of a sudden you add in Mooney in there. I think he's been a player that has been overlooked overlooked and underrated. I think Mooney may be playing in the Chicago Bears offense, playing with the quarterbacks that they've had. Hasn't really been able to put up the huge numbers. But if you do watch his game, I think he's a very good receiver, which also I believe that speaks to Justin Fields again. I think a lot of people have constantly been saying Justin Fields didn't have anything to work with there. Well, obviously the Falcons thought that Justin Fields did, because they just paid Darnell Mooney a lot of money to sign him for multiple years to come to the Atlanta Falcons, right? And last year, Mooney was there with DJ Moore, right? So, and they had a good running attack as well, those kind of things there. So, they will miss out on him, but still Keenan Allen is definitely an upgrade over Darnell Mooney for sure, right? And the Bears still they didn't have to give up that first round pick. Either one of them, they got two. They still have that number 1 pick, and they have the number 9, right? So now all of a sudden, you draft Caleb Williams, and then you draft probably a tackle. It's looking like, I would say, with that number 9 pick. They drafted a tackle last year, with their first round pick. So their offensive line should be pretty solid. They got the wide receivers. They have good tight end group. I think actually the best tight end group in the NFC North is there in Chicago. So that, as far as not just one player, but actually after last year, that was what I was rating last year. Going into this next year, the Packers might have taken that over, because they're two-headed monster that they drafted last year. Both of them were really good, so maybe that took over. But anyways, they have a good tight end group there in Chicago. And then they got DeAndre Swift as well. They signed him in free agency. So a good pass-catching running back who actually kind of reversed his narrative, where he was the pass-catching running back for Detroit, and then he goes to the Eagles, ends up having his best rushing season, but hardly any receiving yards. I don't think that his hands fell off or anything like that, though, right? So, you're gonna bring him over there, and the ball's gonna be able to be dispersed to a lot of different players. And if the Bears don't draft Caleb Williams, there would be absolutely no excuses left that Justin Fields would have with those wide receivers, that tight end, that running back, the offensive line they're going to have. What else are you waiting for? And if they don't draft Caleb Williams with that number 1 pick, that means you trade that away. So then you end up getting other players. I mean, you probably ended up getting, one of these top wide receivers in the first round, and then you ended up getting like another second-round pick. You probably got a few number 1s down the road as well. But their team would just be absolutely loaded, right? At least they could be on the offensive side for a team that has struggled on the offensive side for a long time, and their defense actually started coming around last year. So that could be a team to really look out for, is the Chicago Bears with some of the moves they have been making, right? I would definitely say that with that one move would be the winners of the day in the NFL. Some other moves, though, that happen around the NFL. Calvin Ridley also signs with the Tennessee Titans. I thought that was a little bit of a surprising move. I know the Jaguars were still talking about wanting to bring him back. They ended up signing another wide receiver too, but they still were saying they wanted to bring Calvin Ridley back, and he had a lot of different options to go with, right? Like I said, I think the Falcons would have been a good option. They ended up going with Darnell Mooney, but that was I believe that was after Calvin Ridley already made his deal with the Titans. And for Calvin Ridley, you could have gone there to the Falcons with Kirk Cousins coming in and a good group as well. So there's a number of options that Calvin Ridley could have had to go to different places, but ends up going with the Titans. Now you get there, and what do you have? A second-year quarterback, if he's going to be the starter, or a third-year quarterback that has done pretty much nothing, that has had some opportunities to start. Essentially, you don't know really what the quarterback situation is going to be like in Tennessee, and that's what you just signed up for as Calvin Ridley. So, seems like a cash grab move from Calvin Ridley to go to Tennessee right now, but good for him getting his money too. Let's see here, some other things here. Seahawks trade for Howell from the Commanders. So they get Sam Howell from the Commanders as a quarterback. Interesting move. I actually think that Howell is one of those guys that is a little underrated. I watched some of his games last year, and a little Brock Purdy-ish, I would say. I saw some of the throws. I saw some of the mobility that he has, and that's probably where I would compare him to, would be Brock Purdy, which is weird because Brock Purdy, 2 years in the NFL, didn't even start the first year. Also came back from injuries, those kind of things there. But as far as like not having the overwhelming arm, not having the quickest feet, the best speed, those kind of things there, I would compare him to Purdy, and I would put Purdy above him, obviously. But an interesting move from the Seahawks, considering they still have Geno Smith, who had a down year from 2 years ago. It's still a pretty good year. And I guess, as the Seahawks, are you bringing him in? And I think I believe you probably are saying competition time, Geno Smith. Was 2 years ago a fluke that you were that good, and last year you were still way better than you ever were on the Jets and some of these other stops. But, are you more like last year, or are you more like you were from 2 years ago? Right. And so maybe Hal brings out the best out of Geno Smith. And if not, then maybe they end up going with Hal. And of course, either way, you have a backup quarterback. And both those guys have been backup quarterbacks in the NFL. So, although Hal is obviously much younger and maybe still thinking like he's still ascending and becoming a starting quarterback, I think both of them would have the mindset that they could be the backup quarterback on that team if they don't end up being the starter. Some other moves out there as well. The Chiefs get Hollywood Brown. That's a big pickup for them, from them having essentially no wide receivers until Rice really came on strong towards the tail end, maybe tail end of last season. For them to pick up Hollywood Brown, I think that's big. I think he's also another wide receiver who has not gotten the opportunities, or injuries to quarterbacks that have been around him have plagued him a little bit, where he hasn't been able to shine exactly like I think his skill set can show. So I'll be interested to see exactly what he could do. I think it was just a 1-year deal for him. So I think they paid him pretty good money, but it is just for 1 year. Like I said already, Darnell Mooney to the Falcons. A.J. Dillon is expected to, so far. It hasn't been made official, but it looks like A.J. Dillon is actually going to re-sign with the Packers, which I think is a bit of a surprise. I think everyone going into this offseason, I think Packers fans liked A.J. Dillon a lot. I like A.J. Dillon a lot as a Packers fan, but I think we pretty much thought the writing was on the wall that A.J. Dillon was going to probably be gone and Aaron Jones was going to be staying. Now all of a sudden Aaron Jones is gone. We have Josh Jacobs, totally unseen move there, right? And now it looks like we're going to re-sign A.J. Dillon. So, with Jones leaving, I'd love to see some stability there out of that running back group, and bringing back A.J. Dillon is I think a really smart move. And then besides that, as far as just those moves go, what does this mean for Jim Harbaugh and those Los Angeles Chargers? I mean, the Chargers also released Mike Williams, right? So they just released their two best. They just released one and traded the other one as far as their best two wide receivers for still a young quarterback in Justin Herbert. So still a guy who's I don't know. Can you say he's figured out the league? Like, most quarterbacks, even baseball players, those kind of things. There, you really find out a lot in that second or third year. And Herbert's been there now for a few years, but he's also had some injuries, those kind of things there. But now you're just, it's not like he's already Aaron Rodgers, right, or Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, where you can say, well, we'll go ahead and take away their best wide receivers. We'll go ahead and not re-sign their best tight ends, those kind of things there. It's okay. And we'll go ahead and draft all defensive players. That's what the Packers did forever, right? Because Aaron Rodgers will make it happen with whoever's there. This guy is still a young player. And now he's going to be under a new system with Jim Harbaugh. So I find that super interesting. They also let their main running back and one of the most productive and utilized running backs in all the NFL for the past 3 or 4 years at least now, in Austin Eckler. So your check down guy that you're throwing these little passes to and screens to and this kind of stuff there, put on the backfield, and of course someone that you can just turn around and hand the ball off to in Austin Eckler, he's gone, right? And now all of a sudden you release Mike Williams and trade away Keenan Allen for a freaking 4th round pick. Justin Herbert's got to be not happy right now. And Jim Harbaugh is probably sitting there thinking, I'm Jim Harbaugh. I'm going to win because that's what I do. And we'll see if Jim can make that happen. I know they did keep they were able to keep both their pass rushers on the defensive side, so I really think they're going to try to go old school, try to go Jim Harbaugh style football with the defensive side really running the group, and then a ground and pound kind of offense. All right, big physical running attack with a quarterback that can take the lid off of every defense out there. So we'll see if that pays off. But do they have the players to do it now? Right? They just let a bunch of guys go. So it'll be interesting to see if the Chargers are going to be making any more moves this NFL free agency this offseason, which is still super young, right? There's still a number of players still out there, trades that can be made. Then you have the NFL draft. So there's a lot of ways that they can address those kind of things moving forward here. But pretty interesting day or days from the Los Angeles Chargers for sure. And speaking of days, that's the end of our first segment there, the end of our first topic. And that leads us right into today in history. Today in history, we have a pretty cool day as far as a big day, especially if you're one of this band's fans, and that is Metallica makes their live debut back in 1982 at Radio City down there in Anaheim, right? Which unfortunately closed back in 1985. But today, this starts Metallica being this amazing band that has been around for it's mind blowing to think that's over 40 years ago now that they did their first live show at Radio City down there in Anaheim. And what's even crazier is if you've seen Metallica, all right, or if you've seen them lately, like I have, they're still amazing. They're still putting on an awesome show. So it's even crazier if you go see a show for them. You still got Lars hitting the double bass, still got Kurt and Robert run around, just shredding it, and you still got James sounding so good, down picking like a madman. It's fantastic to see. The crowd's going nuts. They still got the fire going, the explosions, the light shows. They look and sound like they have, I don't know, maybe from 1982, but I saw them the first time in 95, '97, something like that there. And what was cool about that was actually at the Bridge School benefit in Mountain View that Neil Young puts on every year. And if you don't know much about the Bridge School benefit shows, Neil Young has been putting this on for quite a while now, and it's an all acoustic show. But the lineups that happen for the show are phenomenal, right? And I think it was I've been to a number of those shows, and I believe it was that year had Foo Fighters, Smashing Pumpkins, Dave Matthews Band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Neil Young plays every year. Some years it'd be like Neil Young, Crazy Horse. Some years it'd be Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, or Crosby, Stills, Nash, Young Nash, and different combinations of those. And Metallica on I think it was my first time going to those shows was the final act, and so just kind of hearing the whispers going on throughout the whole place, the whole venue there. Is Metallica gonna do it? Are they gonna play acoustic like you're supposed to play acoustic at the show? And at that time, let's say, I guess I'd have to go back and look exactly on that. But Reload had not even come out yet, and so this is before they did any of their symphony work or anything else they've done since, which is they've done a lot of really cool stuff there. But yeah, they came out and they rocked it with the acoustic stuff. But they some of the other bands will sit down. They'll be sitting on chairs and stools and things like that there. Dave Matthews Band, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers are like basically in their element where they sound just like they do off one of their records. And Metallica was able to, have like a variation of basically how they play where they sounded still so good, so much like a metal band like Metallica. So it wasn't like the stripped down, soft acoustic version of them. It was just them playing with acoustic instruments, and they sounded amazing. Anyways, that was the first time that I saw them. So that was a cool time seeing them there. I've seen them a number of different times since then. And if you get a chance to go see them, whether it be next week, next month, later on this summer, go see them, and you'll thoroughly enjoy it. And it's just crazy to think of again that their first show was over 40 years ago today down there in Anaheim. Awesome band. Well, that's great. And for my second thing that I wanted to throw out there for today in history was today was the first day the first home run from Hammer and Hank Aaron, right, in an exhibition game, right, versus the Boston Red Sox when he was on the Milwaukee Braves back in 1954. So he was actually making his debut, Hank Aaron was, for the Milwaukee Braves in this exhibition game, and he ends up homering in this debut, and that is essentially his number one, his first home run, not official home run towards the record books or anything like that because it was an exhibition game, but still today was him coming up making his debut and hitting a home run in that game. And if you don't know, Hank Aaron ends up obviously breaking the record held by Babe Ruth of 714 home runs, ends up getting to 755, where that record stood until, well, maybe according to some people, it's still standing, right? But that record still stood until Barry Bonds broke that record back in 2007 and extended it to 762, which is where the official mark is at. And Major League Baseball is 762 for the home run record in Major League Baseball. I won't go really too far into the whole asterisk thing and home run records and official and all that kind of stuff here today. But that's 762 for Barry Bonds, and Hank Aaron ended up hitting 755 of those things, right? Just amazing that started today in 1954. What was also interesting looking into this here and looking into some of the dates and sorry, not the dates, but the stats as far as these Major League Baseball players is seeing these home run numbers that some of these batters hit and kind of doing some comparing as well. Obviously, you can never compare. I mean, some people try to, but it's hard to compare different eras versus different players. They're different eras, right? So there's the live ball era, there's dead ball era. Trying to compare Babe Ruth to Barry Bonds or something like that, and say, well, Babe Ruth didn't play against any players from the Negro League. He didn't play against Shohei Ohtani coming over from Japan. He didn't play against Pedro Martinez coming up here for the Dominican Republic. All these kind of things there. But you can't hold that against Babe Ruth. He played against who he had in front of him at the time. And, if Babe Ruth had to, train harder and not smoke cigars and eat hot dogs all day long and to get up to face a Shohei Ohtani or Pedro Martinez and these different guys out there today, and maybe actually had to get in the gym, then maybe Babe Ruth would as well and still just kill it with these numbers, right? But I thought this was interesting to see that Babe Ruth had 2,000 at-bats less than Barry Bonds did, right? So Babe Ruth that left that record at 714 home runs. And Barry Bonds ends up hitting, not even 50 home runs more, 40-something home runs more, had over 2,000 more bats than Babe Ruth did. And for Hank Aaron, he had 3,300 more bats than Babe Ruth did. So a significant amount. I mean, that's seasons upon seasons more at bats that those guys had than Babe Ruth did. So the clip that Babe Ruth was hitting home runs at during his time of playing was outstanding. I should take it back. It wasn't really so much at bats, because we all know Barry Bonds was a maniac with the walks, right? But it'd be plate appearances. What was the differences? And Babe Ruth also had a great number of walks as well during his time. So did Hank Aaron. Pretty much any of those big home run hitters do. But plate appearances, over 2,000 more for Barry Bonds and 3,300 more for Hank Aaron than Babe Ruth did during his time. So again, the clip that Babe Ruth was hitting his home runs at during his time was just absolutely crazy. Right? And that, everybody, will conclude our Today in History. Today in history. I'll try to get some effects going on here. Maybe if Ritz would call me up, right? Maybe if Ritz or Kung Fu Pandy. Maybe if Jack Black all of a sudden hit me up, then I can get some decent equipment around here, get some effects going, so I don't have to fake it with no no echoing effects by myself, right? So yeah, for those sponsors, if some people start hitting me up, maybe just give me some free Ritz is all I need. Then I'll feel good enough to go out and buy some more equipment and get some effects happening there. So yeah, that's basically our sponsorship mention of the day here today. We go straight into the song of the day, which, if you can't tell from the hat, and if you haven't seen it on Instagram, if you guys are not a fan of MrSoundOff on Instagram, please check us out. Like and follow us on Instagram. We also hit up, give you guys different notifications for the different live streaming shows on there. We're just getting started on there as well, so you'll be seeing a lot more things coming out from our different social media accounts, like on Instagram and Twitter, as well as Facebook. But if you got that on there, then you get kind of a little insight generally to what the song of the day will be. Today it comes from the band Sparta, absolutely one of my favorite bands of all time, and the song is Tensioning. I was playing this track again recently, playing this album, and it's just that song just jumps off the page of me. Jumps out of the speakers, I guess I should say, as far as being just an amazing song from an amazing album as well, and that being from the Porcelain album from Sparta. And if you guys have not heard of Sparta, or that song, that album, check out this band, check out that album. The song of the day, obviously, Tensioning from Sparta, and this album follows up just an epic, banger after banger kind of song, kind of album from Sparta with Wiretap Scars as their first album, which was just amazing. And that comes from the boys from Jim Ward and Sparta, and Jim Ward basically being the founder and guitarist / vocalist, backing vocalist, but mainly for the band At the Drive-In, which is another band, obviously, that you got to check out them. At the Drive-In has been amazing for years as well. And then the band split up, basically. Half went to Sparta, half went to Mars Volta, that kind of thing there. Both bands make amazing work, but I've been a huge fan of Sparta since I since they came out with their first EP years ago, when I was going to Tower Records with my dad still, and coming across that first EP. That was before they even came out with the first album, which is amazing, with the demo versions of some of their songs that ended up being on that Wiretap Scars album. So check out Sparta again, everybody, for our song of the day. It is Sparta, and the song is Tensioning from the album Porcelain. Hope you guys enjoy that one. And finally, to finish up the day here today, going to go over a little bit of something in baseball. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this yet. I know baseball spring training is not necessarily the easiest thing to catch on TV and some of the different platforms out there. I love going to spring training myself down there in Arizona. Haven't been out to Grapefruit League. I think that'd be a ton of fun as well. I think it would be a totally different vibe, though. All right, if you go there to the Grapefruit League, generally most of the teams end up being what I think the shortest distance is around half an hour, 45 minutes or something like that from another team. Most of the teams end up being like an hour, 2 hours away from each other, and so you could definitely drive from one place to the other. But if you go there to Arizona, you can basically get from Surprise to Talking Sticks. You get from like the furthest west to the furthest east stadium, without traffic, 45 minutes, hour. From the furthest west to the first east team stadiums there, and if you're centrally located, like if you're staying or if you're living in like the Phoenix, Glendale area, most of the teams, it's like, which way do you want to go? And within 10 to 20 minutes, you're at another different stadium. So it's amazing vibe going down there to the Arizona spring training. And if you haven't done it, definitely go give it a shot. The weather's phenomenal down there. I know, some people complain about the weather in Arizona being so hot. I've been there in the summertime. It definitely is. But you go there in spring and it's amazing. It's like 60s, 70s every day. It's beautiful. I think one time I was there, it actually did rain. I don't believe it rained enough to actually cancel any of the games. But I think it rained 1 or 2 days out of the week I was there. But like I said, I don't think it actually rained enough to cancel any games. But for the most part, the weather is just perfect down there. Hit up Don and Charlie's. Go have dinner with some baseball players sitting next to you at some of the different tables. You see these Lamborghinis. You see these Lamborghinis and everything like that driving around. You just get this feeling like I'm just the whole town. There's half of baseball is within a half an hour radius or something like that of you where you're at, and they're all going out and doing these different type of things after the game's done as well, right? So it's pretty darn cool. But going into the spring training, while I was bringing this up here today, I thought it was pretty interesting to see that I don't know if it happened exactly today or if just the video was reposted today, and I just got to see this, but it was the first ever catcher's review, or catcher's challenge, I should say, for a ball or strike call, right? And so this happened in an Orioles versus Pirates game. The Orioles were on defense, right? The Orioles were on the field, and pitcher throws his ball, close pitch. I mean, and this also shows from a catcher standpoint, like how well these guys are in tune with what they're doing. I mean, this guy's tracking this ball coming in at 95 to 100 mile an hour fastball coming in. He's tracking this ball coming in to try to catch this thing, right? He's got a batter here to the side of him. He's got his umpire hanging over the top of him, and he's able to catch this thing and see as the umpire calls it a ball that he's like, nope. There's a double tap here, and immediately goes to being a review for it. Apparently, I guess they said that they've been doing this. They've been trying this out in the minor leagues for baseball. I think it was either last year or the last 2 years, and they said it's been like instantaneous. It goes through super fast, right? Which, if you think about it, you're sitting there at home watching these games, and most broadcasts have the box already on the screen, and you can see real time where this ball was at. Right now, some people say it's kind of like the NFL, like that's not official as far as like the yellow line for a first down, and all of a sudden they bring out the chains and you're able to see like, oh, okay, well, it looked close, but it was 3 inches off or something like that there. So that's the same thing with the box basically, and every batter really definitely has a different strike zone as well, and you don't see that box change from batter to batter. I mean, if you have Ricky Henderson's stance or something like that, and then all of a sudden Aaron Judge is up there, the strike zone is going to be different size, right? But anyways, they're able to do this basically instantly and get this call overturned, or to see if it's accurate what the umpire called. And apparently they're saying that the team gets 3 different challenges in a game. Right, so it's not supposed to like slow down the game very much, because it's supposed to be able to go through super quick. You'd only have 3 challenges available to you throughout the game, right? So you're going to kind of pick and choose when in those moments when you're going to use it. I think there's going to be definitely a number of games throughout the year when not all three challenges are even done, throughout a game. And if it does go through that quickly, then it shouldn't slow down the game at all. Now, in this clip that I saw for this Pirates-Orioles game, in this first one, you see the pitcher turn around and kind of like, what's going on? Like, where is it? Like, and the broadcasters are talking about how normally this is much faster than this. So I don't know if there was some error, some delay, something. I don't know why they weren't ready for this being the first one, but it did take 30 seconds instead of it taking like 5 or 10 kind of thing, right? It still wasn't like some of the challenges that we used to have, or some of the umpires and coaches yelling at each other and taking minutes away, which I actually love the umpires and coaches yelling at each other. I don't really mind if that takes a couple minutes to have some coach come out and give it to the umpire. And I've been both. I've been a player. I've been a coach. I've been an umpire. So I hear from every side. I've seen it. I've been a part of it from every side. But I still I think it's part of the game. And I do think, just like you don't see it happen a ton in football, but you do see, like in basketball and things like that, a lot. Sometimes you as that coach feels like, man, my team needs to be lifted up right now, right? And we just got boned on that call, all right? So you look around, this is it. I'm going to go ahead, maybe get myself tossed out of this game, but I'm going to light a fire underneath my team for this. Matter of fact, I think what was that? I think it was the Astros this last year, like in the playoffs or World Series. Had a moment like that where they were losing one of the games, and all of a sudden I think Dusty went out there, which he doesn't do this a whole lot, but it got them like right back in the game, like the next inning. You just see like the whole team got picked up from it. You see some guys, Aaron Boone on the Yankees, maybe go a little overboard as far as not so much how long he's out there. I just feel like he is constantly doing it, right? So there should be maybe a little fine line there. But my whole point being that I don't mind the arguments and stuff like that between the coaches and the umpires. But this little challenge is supposed to kind of alleviate that, right? You don't have to get mad, coach, and go off about this and complain about balls and strikes where you're not supposed to do. Then you're essentially supposed to be tossed automatically if you arguing balls and strikes. So why don't we just go ahead and just do this quick little review here, this quick little challenge, and within 10 seconds or so, we'll have an answer to this. So catcher taps on his head, goes to this challenge board. They're waiting for a little period of time, but it comes back that it is indeed a strike. And they show on the screen, they blow it up, what the challenge looks like, and essentially where the strike zone is, and then where this ball is. And this ball is on the furthest corner spot that you could possibly get to on the strike zone. I mean, this would be like you playing 2K or something like that, EA Sports, playing a video game, and you just darting it, right? Just right in the corner as best as you possibly can, right? That's where this ball hit. And I just thought it was amazing that this catcher also, again, catches this ball, and you're tracking this ball coming in, right? And so he has the wherewithal to know, you know what, he calls the ball, but it wasn't like this ball was 6 inches, into the strike zone. Most of this ball, I would say, like 90% of this ball was out of the strike zone, and 10% of it hit the corner. And this catcher felt, you know what, this is one of those opportunities for one of those 3 that we only have challenges out of the game to go ahead and use this for this. And it was quickly done. Overturn, ball becomes strike, and they move on with the at bat, move on with the game, right? I thought it was pretty cool. I like the whole personality feel to baseball. I like the personality clashes. I don't think that it is the NFL and you have helmets and you can't see these guys, and like I said, the NFL coaches maybe are shouting and screaming maybe at some of the officials on the sidelines or something like that, but they're never like coming out really like to like the head official and stopping the game and making this huge scene, right? So some of this kind of stuff can happen in baseball where you have a player taking off his helmet, running after somebody, making a huge thing. And you see the actual personalities come out of some of these players and some of these coaches, the umpires, well, that kind of thing there, that I do like to see. But, as far as if it was my team up there and I'm thinking like, man, he's been doing this to me all game long, or that was a crucial situation, like I need that one. It's going to be pretty cool for the game of baseball that they're doing this. And even though I haven't been a Rob Manfred fan, especially for what he's doing, what he's allowed to take place with the Oakland A's, my Oakland A's, some of the rule changes that have been in place just this last 2 years really kind of catching the game of baseball up to today's world and to today's technology. Like you just skip past like 20 years or something like that, 20, 30 years of baseball essentially not doing a whole lot. And then, boom, a ton of changes within this last year or two. I think that one will be an interesting one to see throughout the year. And as long as it doesn't take 30 seconds or something like that it took today on that clip, and it takes 5 or 10 seconds, like they say it's been going through with the minor leagues, I think that's going to be pretty darn cool for the game of baseball. So let me know if you guys have seen that, what you guys think about the challenge rule and some of the different changes that have been taking place in Major League Baseball over the last couple of years and going forward here, right? So with that, guys, that is the end of our show. I hope you guys enjoyed our this episode 3 here from MrSoundOff. And please, like I said, if you haven't already yet, please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're not getting notifications for our videos, please reach out, shoot me a message, or leave a chat, leave a comment in the links below for us to actually see, and we can go through and see exactly what's going on here with that. And in the meantime, hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you, everybody.